Hello, and welcome to episode number 6 of my podcast, Real Impact. Today I have on a friend, Brandon Doering from Virginia. Brandon is a family man and real estate investor, connector, and private money lender. And I think I have a lot of common. He's also a hunter and a man of faith, and really excited to know him and let's get started. Hey, Brandon.
Hey there.
Hey,
How
it's good to have you. Thank you for being my guest today.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm thankful for the invite, man. I've never done one of these before, so this is going to be, all on a whim, but I'm looking forward to it and kind of just going over some stuff and sharing some things and, hopefully encouraging some other people that might be on the fence, but also just put yourself out there and kind of get into real estate.
Yeah, well, that's great because that's what this is about, and it's it's nothing professional or fancy or anything like that. It's just try to have a conversation and
Yeah.
see where it goes, and try to help people, like you said.
Yes.
So yeah, if you just taking like a minute or so to kind of tell us about your background, you got into real estate, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'll go back a little bit here. Previously, I owned an archery business for 15 years before I even started this adventure, and that was kind of the outdoors. It has always been in my family. It's always been something that I love.
Welcome
And
back.
I, and
About your archery business and the
yep.
outdoors. Something about the outdoors. So.
Yeah, so I grew up in it. It's something I always wanted to do. So I started an archery company not too long after high school, and I've been learning from some old timers on tuning bows and just kind of all of that. And I went to a couple schools and launched my own business, and it just took off from there. Like it was amazing. I'm originally from Michigan, and then I moved to down to Virginia, and ended up being an archery manager down here while doing my own shop for another place. And then I got into the government, and I worked for the Department of State. I've been there for the last 8 years uh, within the Department of State. So, and recently just switched to a different position. So it's been a lot of chaos. So probably about 10 years ago, I really started diving into real estate, like just reading up about it, how to do certain things. And of course, you got the Bigger Pockets podcasts and learning that stuff. But that back then when I first started was just books and maybe a little bit of internet stuff, but there wasn't a lot of information, and it was just as traditional. Buy a place in a good location, you put your 20% down, and then you roll it out, and make some money off renters and stuff. And it didn't give me what I thought, that I was looking for in real estate. And I always knew I wanted to get into it. And I didn't necessarily want to be a real estate agent. Um, Even though I thought about it, I kind of wanted to just do my own thing and uh, uh, really have a purpose to it though. And so fast forwarding from that, I went down the rabbit trail several different times, and I didn't know where I fell in as far as real estate. And when I got married 6 years ago, I talked to my wife about it. I was like, I really want to get into real estate. Can we do it? And it was just always, it was a lot of money, if you want to buy a place. And of course, then COVID hit, everything was skyrocketing and everything. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. And then I got on the tangent again after a couple months, and I came across, first off, like subject two. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I've been looking for that can help me get into it. So I talked to my wife about it a little bit. Well, then I came upon Pace's stuff for Gator, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And so I thought about it. I did some reading up on it and looked at some laws and different things, and I was like, all right, I can do this. And I went full bore into it back in late March, first part of April, and man, I can't even. my initial, I think everybody gets into it and they're like, they're gung ho, and whatnot. And then I feel like a lot of people just kind of, when they don't get the experience right away, or they don't get what they're looking for right away, they kind of they peter off. Well, don't do it. Stick with it. I'll say that right off the bat. You're not, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your business. But if you meet the right people, uh, it's the sky's the limit. So that's kind of where it all started with that. When I got on Pace's thing, and ended up connecting with a few people. And they were the right people. I'll say that. Like those first couple connections, I'm going to name drop throughout this too. For people that get into this, and you just want to reach out to good people with good character, that would give you the shirt off their back, that you could work with, and you're not going to have to worry about if they're doing you wrong or anything, because the guys that I personally work with, guys and men and women, they're not like that. And so I'm very grateful for that. That part has been a true blessing and answer to prayer, actually, with just working with good quality people, yourself included. I know you and I haven't done a deal yet, but we've talked about stuff, we've been on the phone, and we'll get there. But I remember my first phone call was actually Lance Riggin, and he had been in a while, and he gave me a lot of little nugget stuff to like chew on, and to like just kind of figure out what, everybody goes by the avatar. And I was like, I just don't know. Like, I want to go out and I want to, do this, but after calling title companies and everything, and just realizing that the EMD part wasn't there really. It's very few and far between, and talking to wholesalers and everything else, and talking to Lance, and I just started going after the PML stuff. And then next thing you know, I'm talking to people, and I'm on a connector roll. Like I'm like, okay, like I can match you up with this, and I can, put everybody in spreadsheets and match them up, and it kind of took off from there. The next guy I met was Zoe Guzman. Had a great conversation with him, and he started pointing me out to people, and we connected right then and there. And I can't even. You won't meet a more humble guy than Zoe. Like he is the OG. So anybody who's watching this, reach out to Zoe. Just a good dude to know. He knows people, and like I said, all the people that I work with, they give you a shirt off their back. So yeah, I started making phone calls, man. I started figuring out who had deals and who needed deals, and just started writing everything down on pen and paper. I'm not very computer savvy, and I just did it old school. I just started writing everything down back in the early part of April, like who's doing what, and what do they need, and how can I help them. And I think that's the beauty of this business, is the rewarding part is you're helping somebody. If a fix and flipper comes in, they need your money or someone else's money, because they want to fulfill a dream of theirs by fixing up a house and maybe selling it and helping their life or whatever. Or maybe they just do it because it's just a thing they love to do. You're helping them out no matter what. Same way with Subject 2. I love it. I can't wait to actually do that part of it. I'm helping somebody out of a bad situation and helping them restart their life. And I think that is a testament to that. And I haven't jumped into that yet, but that's coming. I really want to do that, and kind of expand things. So that's kind of in a nutshell. I've got more people that I've connected with and whatnot, but that's kind of the gist of how I got started into it. And here we are, October, and it's blown my mind, the deals that have come in, along with the people I'm working with consistently on a weekly basis, daily basis. I before I got on the podcast with you, I funded a deal. I literally drove from DC to the bank and JV'd with another guy to fund a deal, and they're going to end up funding the last part of that deal as well. And then here's the kicker: I probably should have saved it, but not only did I JV and fund part of that to get a percentage, I brought the PMLs, so I made the connector fee off of it as well. So I basically took a 15% uh, um, deal and turned it into 28% within
Wow.
60 days. So, and just for clarity, like the guy who brought me a deal is a guy I work with all the time. His name's Brandon Jump. Uh, Solid, awesome dude. Like he lives here in Virginia. He's a good guy to get to know. Like I'm the guy who reaches out and talk to people. He's a guy like he's very analytical, and if I make a mistake, like he can catch it. He's super good. So he brought the deal, and so we're splitting the connector fee. Um, but both of us are benefiting from, but we're also helping the other person on the other end who needs this to fund their deals and get it done. So, and this is like probably going to be like a 3-part deal in the end. So, and it's a pretty big deal. So, but yeah, I was going to save that for a little bit, but yeah, I literally rushed home from the bank, wiring those funds out, and then right to here and jumping on with you. So, but yeah, so that's it. That's a little hint into how everything's been going. So
Wow. Well, congrats on that deal. Yeah, it's so much gold drop there. We could probably spend an hour
it's
unpacking
true.
all that. But yeah, first of all, the archery business, I can definitely relate to that.
Yep.
Something I've been passionate about for ever since I got out of school.
Hmm.
I've been shooting bows since 14, and love working on my own setups, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. I spend a lot of time doing that. But going into so we're both part of the Gator group,
Yep.
and yeah, like you said, like the relationships, it's all about that. Real estate, especially,
Yeah.
and Pace has created these groups that I think it's for like the most part like-minded people, like
Hmm.
go-givers that
Yep.
just want to help each other win and like make the deal, like all the deals like win-win for everyone, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what's great about real estate. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Especially in this type of stuff, like, yeah, there are very few people that I've come across anyway that are out for themselves. I found them, but 90% of them uh, are there to help. Like you meet somebody whose niche is something else, and they know something or know someone that you don't, and you're both bringing each other that connection part that finalizes the deal, and then everybody wins. And that's the absolute beauty of this. And it's erupted into something way bigger than I originally thought when I joined. Like, I mean, you can attest to that looking at it, like how many people join up every day.
yeah,
And I try to reach out to as many as possible. It's impossible. I
mhm,
try, but I can't keep up. Um, but this whole community atmosphere of people, you know, like you said, go givers and whatnot it's you can't put a price on it, and the lifelong friendship and business relationships that you create are just, like I said before, money aside, just meeting good like-minded people that you know get out there, they hustle, but they'll sit down and just have a regular conversation with you outside of just talking real estate. Like you and I talking about bows and out west, being in the mountains and whatnot. That's just a regular conversation, and I've never met you before in my life.
mhm,
So it really can attest to that. Just the nature, the good nature of people in this side of the business.
yeah,
So and honestly, I hope it bleeds out into like all the wholesaling communities and further out there, like good people, because I'm running some bad apples outside of this that but I'm hoping that it weeds those type of people out and just really bleeds in, like if you have good people with good character, you know coming into this and working, outside people in wholesaling or flipping or whatever they're doing, and connecting with good people. It breeds a positive atmosphere, and I love it. I'm really hoping that it kind of affects that and kind of changes the stigma around like wholesaling and private money lending and all that. I feel like in a lot of states there's like a stigma there, like a negative stigma, so to speak. But I think like I said, the good people can change that around a heartbeat.
Mhm.
So, but yeah,
Yeah, so you mentioned some names, Zoe. Yeah, I've been able to talk with him a few times. I actually just texted him today, but yeah, he's just a great dude. Um,
yeah,
just willing to get on the phone, whenever and have a conversation. And
yeah,
he's taught me a lot about just what to look for and
yeah.
betting deals, things like that.
He knows his stuff. Like one of the other guys I originally reached out was Brandon Fernandez and Steve Attard. There, Brandon's here from Virginia as well, and those guys are wealth of knowledge. And you want to talk about some guys that are doing like multiple things at once? Like they're doing everything. Like I don't know how they do it.
Hmm.
Uh, I could go down the list. Jake Tester, Aaron Kim, guys that we kind of have this core little group. Mike Crank, and we meet up on Sunday nights or Mondays, I think now, and do campfire and cocktails. And we talk about like what have we seen this last week, or in general, and like what's coming up, and like how we can overcome those things. Um, uh, it's been absolutely amazing. Andy Bonker, like I'm just going off dropping names right now because of people that I have done deals with and that I work with on a consistent basis, and hopefully you and I are doing something here real soon.
Hmm.
So but these are guys that I've done deals with or have collabed with on deals. Maybe they haven't gone all the way through, but I've learned something from every single person that has been different from working with another one. I like there's always something I pick up and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this light bulb. Like, some of these guys are so in the weeds with this stuff. Like it just blows my mind, like the knowledge. Um, and it has helped me in my real estate journey by far. Like if anything, just the knowledge. We don't even have to do the deal. Um, it man, it like there was a couple deals that I was getting ready to lend on where it came down to it, and there was just one little thing, and you back your mind, you're questioning it, and when you ask the questions, those people can't answer the questions, and something's wrong, and you just better to be safe than sorry, and then after that, you never hear from the people again. So, um, yeah. Uh, but I'm sure I'm missing some names. I'm kind of on the spot, but for those that watch this, reach out to those people and talk to them, especially new people. Uh, I'm not afraid to get on the phone. I try to, weeknights, weekends. I'm constantly talking to people, and figuring out how we can work together. I don't care who you are. If you um, if we're working together and getting things done, like it doesn't matter, personalities aside. So, but yeah, I can't say enough, man, about this part of it. And um, yeah. So next question.
Yeah, just wanted to say that all those names, like there was a common theme, like because those are all names I recognize in the community,
Yep.
and I see people like all those people giving value, people like you giving value in the community, and it's yeah, just like a common theme I see
Yes.
is all those people showing up and giving value. Talk about so it seems like you found your kind of your niche.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's something I'm still like I've only done one deal so far, and I know I could have done a lot more if I just would have taken more action. But you're actually like you're out there, you're taking the action, and you've connected on I don't know how many deals, but assuming it's quite a few.
Quite a few. Yep.
But yeah, I'm still trying to find the kind of that niche. But I think you've kind of found yours, and I can tell that you just enjoy talking to people, getting to know people, and then connecting them.
Yeah, that's kind of the when I going back, like saying like what was my niche, and working with people for so many years, and especially like within the government. Naturally, like I tend to gravitate just towards having a conversation with somebody, and next thing you know, that comes into play, and I just kind of put the puzzle pieces together of who's looking for what, where, and how we can do it. Like, and not everybody's like that. Some people are like, hey, I have money. I don't really like to talk to people. Um, let's JV, let's joint venture on a deal, and see where it goes. And a lot of that turns into repetitive stuff. um like I met some guys, the Outlands, from Michigan a while back, and I was actually visiting my folks up there in Michigan, and we met up, had dinner together, and now we're doing deals left and right together, and just super good guys. And I've done some others with some people in the background. I don't know if they want to be mentioned, so I probably won't, just because I know that I don't think they want their names blown up all over the group. But you know, I think finding the niche in this particular type of atmosphere is really important. What you gravitate towards, and then perfect it. So I had to, a few weeks back, really step back because I was getting so overwhelmed with the amount of training that was coming out, and just too many Zooms. And it really started to get to me. I'm like, I can't keep up with this. I'm trying to get on a Zoom, but I'm trying to do a deal. And then I'm trying to, play with my kids or whatever. And I'm not going to sacrifice, my family time, for money. Money will come, deals will come. I've been blessed. To be honest, I've been totally blessed, and I don't deserve it. And but I wasn't going to sacrifice that. So I had to take a step back and like, okay, my niche is connecting, and I can really relate to like Lance Riggins and a few of the other really good connectors. That's where I'm at. So I really step back, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to perfect this part and just make a business out of it. And once that's rolling, then I'll move into something else. But I think a lot of people, when they come in, Pace talks about the shiny object syndrome. Okay, oh, I can wholesale. I can, buy houses subject to. I can buy cars subject to. I can do all these things. I can connect. I can gator wrestle. I can do all these things, and it comes down to, figure out one or two things, and just go at those. Learn as much as you can about them. Figure out who the people are that are doing those things regularly, and get with them. Make friends with those specific people, and that's what I did. I figured out who those people were, and some of them even came to me, and we just went to town, and that was kind of my thing. So I think people actually need to analyze. Don't get so caught up in the Zooms. Don't get me wrong, there's a ton of knowledge there. Like, if you can make all the Zooms, more power to you. I can't do it. I think there's just too much on that aspect. And uh like I said, I had to step back. Okay, I am a connector. I just am going to concentrate on this, and I'm going to get things flowing with my people and make sure that they're getting taken care of. And we're going to do deals together. And when this is fluid, I'm going to go out, and then I'm going to do something else subject to, or if I have to hire somebody or whatever. I'm doing this all myself right now. I work with a few people, like, in partnership, or just in mutual agreements or whatever. But most of it is myself, like all the numbers, all the accounting, all that stuff. Like, and that's going to get overwhelming real quick. So yeah, so as far as like you saying, like, you've done a deal and this and that, like, you know, I would just point you back and be like, what part of when you first started this, what interested you the most? Like, what you looked at in yourself and like, yeah, that's me. And then when you figure that out and you're like, that's what I love to do, don't look at anything else. Just do it. And whether it is reaching out, because once you find the right people, you're golden, and everybody wants to work with you, and you want to work with everybody else. Like, I love talking to everybody that I associate with daily. I love it. It's a, whether we're just analyzing a deal, that, 7 out of 10 deals are not a deal. It's those three that are the keys, and you run with them. So I would say that to anybody. When you started this and you kind of got going after the training, and you're like, I really like this part of it. That's what I would say go with. Not everybody's a connector. Some people are a PML and they just want to find the deals. That's kind of, other people are like, man, I really just want to wholesale. I know some really good wholesalers that they're just really good at it, and they don't really want to do connecting. And other people are fix and flippers, and I give props to those guys. They got a lot going on with construction crews and everything else, and they love that more than anything. And so, just find your little, whatever interests you. And I know I'm repeating myself, and do it. Just bear your head down and do it. That's all I got to say on that aspect of it.
Well, that's first of all, I can definitely relate to the shiny object syndrome. And at first, I was like trying to be on all the different Zooms,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I just was stretched too thin, and I'm still don't think I have my focus narrowed down enough, because I've recently um paid for some multifamily memberships, and
Okay.
that's something that I really love is the underwriting
Yeah.
multifamily deals. So that's something I've been practicing a lot lately, and I haven't really been actively looking for opportunities for like connecting on private money deals. I guess there's also part of it. Um, I I guess I'm a knucklehead, but like I don't know, fully understand, the process. I know there's quite a bit of information to gather,
Yeah.
on a private money deal or a lending deal. So that's probably another reason I just haven't. I guess I'm a little bit, a little bit scared of the actually going and finding a deal and then asking for all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
like I'm just curious if you don't mind just
Yeah.
going over kind of like a high level view of what a deal structure looks like a typical deal.
So, everybody's is different. Um, some people lend with a little bit more risk. Some people won't. They want everything. I I connect with some of the people that really, they get into the nitty gritty stuff, especially on higher end deals. And those are the people, like, I'm still new at this. Don't get me wrong. Like, I disclaimer, I'm not a professional, so don't take advice from me. But in the training, it talks about, you know the basic parts. Like, when I'm looking at a deal, I want to know, first off, I want to know what state it is in, because once you start looking into certain states out there that are not investor friendly, that are just an absolute nightmare. Say you have to foreclose, you kind of keep that in the back of your mind. You have to, if you got to foreclose on a property, there's states out there that it's not going to happen for years. And so you really got to keep that in the back of your mind. I want to know, like, the area, city, basic stuff. I want to look at that area, and I want to know, like, uh, what does that area look like? What are the demographics of that area? What are the schools like? How many days on market are these houses selling? How long are they sitting? What's, just kind of, the basics of stuff. Like, what does the house look like? I want pictures of the houses. I want, or house, or whatever it is. Depends on the portfolio, whatever I'm working on. Um, I want to know, because I've also done construction in the back, and I can look at a house and say, yeah, that's going to need a roof. And without even doing anything else, I can say, yeah, that's 15-20 grand right there, for that size of roof and everything else. So you're a little off, or you're spot on. Some of them need lipstick, and I can look at them and all the pictures, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we're good. Did you have an appraisal done, an official appraisal, scope of work? What does that look like? Did you actually have someone come out and break it down? This is what it's need. This is what's going to cost. And that way, so your numbers, or their numbers, add up. I want to know, I want to know if there's any liens on the house. Now, obviously, that you got to hire somebody to do all that stuff, but um, you got to look at the deal as if, even if you're a connector or whatever, like as if you're going to lend on it yourself. No matter what. Like, I don't want to take a deal to somebody that is not put together or doesn't have the questions asked. I've had a lot of deals come to me where I was in like that whole, oh yes, I got a deal. Like, I know it's a good deal, but there were certain little pieces missing. Um, and or certain questions that they didn't want to answer. Uh, and I've approached some people with those, and they would come back and they were like, "Hey, we need to, let's talk about this. Like, has there been done inspection done? Like, if it's before, I think in 1950 or 1940 stuff, we got to check for asbestos and lead paint and all that kind of stuff. I could be wrong on those dates, but I think that's pretty close to where. Um, so I want to know how they're structuring the deal. Like, Pace talks about like $1,500 you spend in a day on your rehab. Like, that's pretty close. I've seen some people do more. I know some guys that do more than that, and they're very capable of it. So is 90 days going to be enough? Is 60 days going to be enough? Is 120 days? I want to know those things, and I will just go down the list. The basic list that Pace puts out, and then I'll ask for who's the title company, when's the close of escrow. I'll call the title company. I want to know if this is legit, if they've got all the paperwork. Have they seen any red flags on it? I want to talk to those people. And sometimes, if they don't give you the name of the title company, you probably shouldn't be doing a deal with them. Like, you need to be able to answer all the questions, because it's your money or it's someone else's money, and you don't want to be caught up in something that's you're going to sacrifice your integrity for. But if you start with the basics, of the deal structure and where it's at and whatever, and you just start underwriting that, where you're looking up the area, and some of them take a lot longer than others, but you just start on those and you just go right down the list, and then you start getting into the nitty gritty stuff. You can weed out a lot of them really quick. How much they buy it for, and if they tell you they bought it for this, you want to see the purchase agreement. Like, you want to make sure that is like, they should give you the purchase agreement, so you can make sure, and like, okay, so this is your rehab. You're looking for this amount. What does that entail? How, if I'm giving you this much money, I want a breakdown of what you're using those funds for. I don't want you to take part of it for the rehab and part of it to pay off somebody else or something. This all needs to be structured in a way that makes sense. If it makes sense and you don't have red flags, then it's probably okay, to move forward with it. So, and honestly, there's a lot of every person I've worked with has different standards. And when you write everything down, like, I think I need to start, like, for each person I work with, I need to have their own standards and what they look for each person, just put it on the wall. If I'm working with Andy Bonker, I know he's very good at what he does with underwriting. Like, his list is like this long, when he puts out a deal, versus some other people that I work with, they're not so much, but they have all the basics. They have 90% of the stuff there. But they're just not as detailed. And we still do the deal. It's a great deal. And some people that I've learned that when they bring you a deal, it's done. It's solid. Like, you can glance over that, answer the questions in your own mind, and it's good. So, and those are kind of the people that you really try, to just have a real personal relationship with, and and also make yourself um, work for them as well. If they need questions asked, make sure you're on it. It's hard with a W-2. I understand that, because I do the same thing. Like, sometimes you got to do what you do, but if I take a break, I do stuff. If I'm running the bathroom or whatever, like, I'm texting, I'm finding out those questions. Like, lunchtime, I'm on the phone. Like, I wolf my food down in like 3 minutes, and then the rest of my lunch break, I'm doing stuff. So, and I come home, I chill out. I spend time with my family. Like, you're not going to get a hold of me from like 5 o'clock till 7:30. Like I'm taking that time out unless it's like an absolute emergency. Like my family time is very valuable to me. But so that's kind of just a little base. I probably just rambled all, but if you're not comfortable with the the answers to your questions and they're not giving you those answers correctly, don't do the deal. It's move on, move to another deal. There are plenty of deals out there. You don't need to get yourself caught up into a legal battle or because you just want to get your first deal or you want to get the second deal or whatever. You need to do good deals. And I'm still learning this. In fact, I'm signing up for this underwriting class. I don't. There was I can't remember when it went around. I can send you the link. There's an underwriting class. I think it's like $150 or something like that with a test and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'll get that to you. And you might have to remind me. But yeah, so I'm like that's a really good investment. I want to learn everything when it comes to doing those parts of the deals. So I want to be like Andy Bonker or Eric. I forgot his name now. His last name. Anyway, that'll come to me. Those guys underwrite very, very, very well. And Brandon Jump, he underwrites very, very well. If it passes the sniff test, then you move on. So, yeah. So that's kind of that. That's probably a long-winded version.
That was well, first of all, you'd said you're newer to this, but it doesn't seem like it. So you said you've been to kind of doing this since like April. Is that right?
First part of April. Yeah, I think I started first part. I last part of March is when I started the training. I didn't really get into it until like the second week of April, and I think I had my first deal end of April. It was end of April, 1st of May was I think when I did my first deal.
Well, that's you might be newer, but you gained a ton of experience during that time. Just amazed that
it's all with the people, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done this myself
Mhm.
at all. Like, and that's when we go back to the knowledge part. Give knowledge and receive knowledge. And I love helping out the new people that come in. Like I have a couple Zooms this week with brand new, aren't even all the way through their training yet, or pretty close to it, but they just have some questions and they want those link up with them. They may know people that you don't, or they might have extra added things that they can bring to the table. They're good at something that you're not. Everybody is an asset. And everybody is, I shouldn't say an asset. They're friends or coworkers or whatever that could be, really good assets, and reciprocate that. Jump in and help them as well. So this business is not a take. Those type of people don't last.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, thanks for that breakdown, and yeah, I love seeing you do that, just helping other people. And I found that that's what I enjoy the most is teaching what I've learned
yeah,
to newer people. Because that's one thing this podcast is about. Is I'm a big believer that we all like, even no matter where we are in our journey, we're all like maybe even a chapter ahead of someone else, and if we
yeah,
can and just teach that chapter, we can shorten the learning curve for the next person in line. So
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
that's kind of what this I started this podcast for, which leads me to, well, we're getting over 40 minutes now, so I want to be respectful of your time. But before
No,
we,
I'm fine, man. I just hopefully nobody feels like I'm boring and just like cuts it off.
no, man, this has been good. I could talk all night about, or listen to you talk all night. So,
Man, I'm
um,
not like I said, I'm not a professional. I wish I'd have started this sooner. If I could say anything, if anybody takes away from this, anything is don't wait. You hear that a lot on YouTube channels or whatever. Don't wait, don't wait. Don't come from a guy who worked blue collar jobs, plumbing, electrical, welding, and all that stuff, archery, owning business, small business stuff. If it's something you're really passionate about, and real estate is, for our generation, be honest, is the gateway to retirement. It really is. You can throw your money in a failing stock market. You can throw them in bonds. You can do all that stuff and make cents on dollars. It really and gamble with if it's going up or down. But if you control the scenario and you learn this stuff, you know, you have a lot more freedom to do other things. That's my goal. I said it. 10 years. I'm 38 now. When I'm 48, I'm retiring. Like that's my goal. Like, and I don't care to be Pace Morby. I feel he's brought a lot. I don't want to be that guy. I want to take care of my family. I want to take care of my friends. I want to take care of my church and their projects and stuff that they got going on. And I'm good. Like I wasn't built like that. I'm a giver. I'm not one to take. And if I've been blessed with this, you can darn be sure that other people are gonna be blessed.
Yeah, I love that, man. You're doing big things and gonna continue to do it, and I'm just excited to see where you go. And you're someone in the community that I look up to and always
Oh man,
see you showing up for other people. So thank
I
you for
appreciate
that.
that. But
And
you and I need to get together and get you a few more under your belt. So
absolutely, I love that.
start getting. I'm starting to get quite a bit of consistent flow coming in, and it's been great, and I want to share that with everybody. Like it takes a village. It really does. It
Mhm.
takes everybody doing it.
Yeah, we let's talk more offline. Maybe
Yeah,
I can
let's do it.
see how I can maybe provide value to you. So,
Oh man, you
um,
are. I've talked to you already on stuff, so we'll get together and we'll talk. Maybe tomorrow or something, and
awesome.
we'll do some stuff.
Awesome. Well, I usually end it with like one piece of advice you have for people that are on the fence, but I think you kind of answered it already. Like, don't wait. You said don't wait, just start now, right? So,
D- Don't. It is an investment. I'm
hmm
not gonna say it's not. Like, if you can scrape out, but if you think about it and you gotta kind of take your mindset. If I'm gonna make this really quick because you have to take yourself out of the mindset of the 9 to 5 driving to your job, ants in an ant farm type mentality. And you got to put yourself into a little bit of, okay, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to put some risk into this, but I'm also going to put my effort and I'm going to give it 100%, but I'm not going to give myself a timeline. Other than me, like my end timeline, like I didn't expect to have my first deal in only a couple weeks. Like I gave myself like 3 months. Like I want to have a deal in 3 months. Like I felt like that was sufficient. Like that I've learned enough, and whatnot. And it just started happening. I'm a nobody. Like and if I can do this, by George, anybody can do this. So you can get on the YouTubes and everybody says, don't wait, do this, buy my course, all this stuff. Invest in yourself, invest in your knowledge, invest in your family, invest in your community. Get out to the real estate meetups, meet people. Some people, they just aren't wired like that. Like it takes a lot to get out there, but those are the connections that you need. So but like I said, like YouTube's great, but you're going to get caught up in a lot of things, the shiny object syndrome and everything else. Look at one thing. What are you good at? Start getting, if you're going to be a private money lender, link up with me, or I can link you up with anybody. Maybe you're a connector. Maybe you have a desire to fix homes and resell to people so that they have a home. Maybe you want to do it subject to, and you want to be a landlord, but you want to help somebody who's in you want to help someone out of a bad situation and then help someone who needs to get into a good situation. you know uh Maybe you want to just do it to raise money for charity, or you want to raise money for your church, or you want to raise money for whatever, St. Jude's Hospital or whatever. Everybody has their own goals. Find where your lane's at, stay in that lane and get proficient at it, and then move out into other things. I mean, that's all I got to say on that. Like if I can do it, my word, like it really is changing a lot of things in my outlook of everything. And it's really hard to, like, I will say this too. If you're married or if you have that other person that's on the fence, be patient with them. Give them some grace because they don't understand everything. And I had to learn this the hard way because I wanted to jump in it. I wanted to get at it. Like we need to take, money if it's not working for us in the market and take it and put it into deals that we're going to get back in 60, 90, 120 days with way better return. And it takes some really digging deep to get out of that 9 to 5 mindset. I need to work for a place for 30 or 40 years and then retire. You know what? They will replace you tomorrow. There's nothing against. I work a W-2, and I will be there probably for a while. But when I'm ready, I'm done. I want to work for myself, and I want to provide time for my family. I want to be more active in my church. I want to be able to like link up with guys like you and go on a hunting trip, or something like that. And that's I want to. You can create time, get your time back, but focus on yourself. Focus and don't get over. If you find yourself getting burned out and overdone, take a step back, breathe, reassess things, and just reach out to people, give you a little bit of encouragement. Talk to people you've done deals with, move on, get back into it. And sometimes you just got to take a break. Like some people, they do this 24/7 and they just get burned out. So that's all I got to say, man, on that. And if anybody who makes it this far and is listening, reach out to Kyle, reach out to me. The names that I listed, I've got many, many more. Some of them probably don't want to be named on a podcast, but I can link you up with them. If you have good deals and stuff, and let's work together. Like I'm not a selfish person. I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to fulfill their goals. Provide for their families. So, and at that, I'm not going to say any more about that. So, but yeah, definitely, man. Let's link up. Let's do some stuff, and maybe we can get together, and we can plan a hunting trip or something. Meet in Ohio or something, and I'm all about doing public land stuff, and go from there.
Well, awesome, Brandon. I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah,
Keep crushing it, and really just want to thank you for being on here. And we'll see you on the next one.
yeah, man. I appreciate you, man. This is like I said, this is the first time I've ever done this, and I appreciate you just asking me. I'm humbled. This was great, and I appreciate that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Talk soon.
All right, brother. Talk soon.
Bye.